All right. Welcome everybody. It's been almost a year. So obviously I'm not going to be talking about the new Godzilla film like I said I was in my last video. I'm getting back to basics, which means I'm going to be talking about woodworking and woodworking tools. And I'm going to be talking specifically about the jack planes. Now, if you remember from my previous plane video, I said that in American woodworking, the jack plane was a do-all plane that could handle the three main tasks of bench planing, namely roughing, squaring, and smoothing. And the four types of jack planes are the number 5 here, which is the most common, the 5 1/4, also known as the junior jack or Jenny plane, the 5 1/2, which is also known as the large jack or the big jack, and the 62, the low angle jack plane. And if you remember back to when I first talked about planes, I said if the jack plane is a do-all plane, why have 4 different versions of them? And I said it basically has to do with the size of the user and the size of the work. That the 5 1/4 is most useful for smaller work. The 5 1/2, large work. The 5 is for standard work. While the 62, by the way, that's my phone. That's not me. I didn't have beans for dinner. And the 62 works very well on end grain. So, also, all the operations and bench plane work are different operations. For smoothing work, the smaller the plane, the better. For squaring, the larger the plane, the better. For roughing, you can go short, medium, large. So really the idea that one single plane can handle everything is a bit of a misnomer. So for smoothing, your 5 1/4 is going to work better. For squaring, the 5 1/2 is going to work better. And as I said, the 62 works very well on end grain, but it's not very good at roughing. Anyhow, now, if you had to choose, so if you were choosing just one of these planes, you would have to think about what's most important to you. If you're going to work with rough sawn lumber, and you're going to be doing dimensioning by hand, my suggestion would be the 5 1/2. If you're going to deal mostly with store-bought pre-dimensioned lumber, and then I say go with the 5 1/4. And if you if you do a lot of glue ups and do a lot of large panels where you need to square up end grain, then the 62 would be your best bet. You can try the 5, kind of like as the true median, true jack plane. Although I have to be honest, I've never really liked the number 5. I don't know why. Even though it's smaller than the 5 1/2, it just feels more awkward. I just don't like it. My favorite, my all-time favorite is the 5 1/4. I absolutely love this plane. And if the day ever came where I had to go to just one single plane, this would be the plane I'd go with. I absolutely love and adore this plane. Unfortunately, there's only one manufacturer left that still makes the 5 1/4. That's Lee Valley. Even Lee Nielsen has discontinued their 5 1/4. But I personally, I just love the plane. I also like the 5 1/2. Like I said, even though it's bigger than the 5, I find its weight and balance to be much better. Like I said, the 62 is a fine plane as well. Like I said, it definitely works better on end grain, but it's not very good for roughing. And since I do deal with a lot of rough sawn lumber, that's kind of important to me. So, which one is right for you? That once again, it depends on you, your body type. It depends on the work you do, and your own personal preference. So that is the jack planes, the 5, 5 1/4, 5 1/2, and 62. So when you're out in the market for one, if you're in the market for one, those are the ones you get to choose from, and happy purchasing and happy woodworking. Thank you, and good night.